The Attorney General failing to prosecute Dr. Duffuor in the UniBank scandal. Didn't know about prosecuting. Again, NSS scandal case, akusi saying. And then I cost account Ben Akupi Bank of Ghana 2 million B ye again 80 million the Ajara. Skytrain scandal so akusi saying. And I'm the on the critical knowledge and measure. So be subscribe. I subscribe. I click the notification with the video be to my open no it be. Earlier this week, a public statement from the Attorney General office saying Dr. Duffuor case bia abang at the ball no in the UniBank scandal near the group banks and the case no young continue because abang no a filing only prosecute the Attorney General or say make kind statement about the Honorable Attorney General has today entered the only prosecutor in the case of the Republic versus Communal Duffuor and 7 others. Dr. Communal Duffuor no NDC ni pa no person contest President Mahama former finance minister even Mills record na Shema Adodo finance minister Dr. Communal Duffuor or a former governor of the Bank of Ghana and what say banking sector na say or a key player in Canada. Or say, while the exercise of this prosecutorial discretion requires no explanation under the law, the Attorney General, in the spirit of accountability and transparency, considered it appropriate to provide the public with the rationale behind the decision. Or say, I bind the filing only prosecutor can also change him gradually, but a sense of person will be any master to Ghana of winning to no change him. Or say, no only prosecutor bind to a case against the state and community for any back or say, as may be recalled, the Republic versus Communal Duffuor and 7 others case was formed part of a broader set of prosecution arising out of the banking sector cleanup exercise which the state had undertaken since 2018. Also, case started 2018. A bankers a banks and into a banking sector cleanup. 2. The central objective of this prosecution has been to A. Ensure accountability for public funds and more importantly, recover losses occasioned to the state through various alleged acts of financial impropriety. Or say, 1. Nana bani person is a man for public security because shame. Menu nesika taxpayers money no. A buying budget accountability better to any esika. B. Or say, recover losses occasioned to the state through various acts of financial impropriety. Sikabi a buying bet me ajano. Yenye. C. And I train or say, in pursuit of this objective, the Office of the Attorney General, in collaboration with other relevant state agencies, established a 60% threshold recovery of alleged losses to the state as a condition for reconsidering prosecution in specific case. Or say, in particular case where the Attorney General announced she be a wire letter be a woman, Dr. Duffuor say be on your macano, 60% is be a woman in value, no, or then say, 4. Or say, following prolonged negotiation and engagement, the accused person in the Republic versus Communal Duffuor case have met this recovery threshold accordingly in furtherance of public interest and considering the significant recoveries made for the state. The Honorable AG has satisfied himself that continuing the prosecution will not serve any additional public purpose. I'm saying 60% threshold, no. Negotiations on the Communal Duffuor in the team I know. In the moon yasa by the because of prosecuting case in the okay. 5. The decision, however, does not imply an absence of wrongdoing or a vindication of any conduct. It's a pragmatic step in line with overreaching national interest of recovery status. So say, and not just a Communal Duffuor and a UniBank 7 others na anybody be a Debbie. And just one man bonnet, and one bonnet dear. But say bet me and your baby my yenya since say Yadia some neighbor court. Finally, you say the Honorable Attorney General remains resolute in his commitment, blah blah blah, rule of law near there. Okay. Mimi hu ye no I felt say ye bet me nyamo ayenya mo didn't ya Dr. Communal Duffuor kasa ye prosecution ni na no hwe evidence a na sika ye hia free ni ho ene sa 7 others in that UniBank scandal no 3.3 billion cedis per Attorney General the all canon and the press conference o chire mu no Dr. Communal Duffuor saw the asset worth 800 million cedis. Tieni me se car na state ne say Communal Duffuor ne others ni ntua 3.3 billion cedis ana asset a Communal Duffuor through negotiate the Attorney General 800 million ana osanse obetimi abo Attorney General no America basika bi ni ade from third parties on to the tune of 1.2 billion cedis na say koka 800 assets no ye UniBank dia ye ono ane dia wo transfer ma bind through the Bank of Ghana no say medemoka you go say to medemoka minya ena mi phone ye ya iPhone yi medemamo Mesa boamu microphobia de meka any ade na magicians kana ma me no so 1.2 billion before ni 800 million what you say entini na be 2 billion cedis 2 billion divided by 3.3 billion times under is 60%. That is how the Attorney General arrived at 60%. And the internal Attorney General G can on why press conference say no kind.
Prolonged negotiations, the accused persons by a letter dated 7th May 2025 made a proposal to settle the revised outstanding obligation of 3.3 billion Ghana cedis through a structured approach. The accused persons offered to pay 2 billion Ghana cedis in full and final settlement of the outstanding obligations through the following arrangements: 800 million worth of assets to be transferred directly to UniBank, which is in receivership, which will now make that available to the Bank of Ghana, and then their active cooperation and participation to assist the receiver to recover an additional 1.2 billion from the direct beneficiaries paid out on their instructions. Out of the above arrangements, the accused persons have provided landed properties valued at 824 million Ghana cedis to UniBank. That is, in receivership. Further, in other words, indirectly to the Bank of Ghana or the Republic of Ghana. Further, the accused persons will be responsible for any shortfall in the proceeds realized from the sale of the landed properties. A total of 0.5 billion has to date been recovered out of the 1.2 billion being pursued from the direct beneficiaries. Recovery of the remaining balance of 0.7 billion out of the 1.2 billion Ghana cedis and the realization of the landed properties provided are expected to be completed over a timeline of 18 months. Although the preference would have been for me and my team for the accused person to settle the proposed amount in cash, immediate settlement in cash was not, from my sense of what transpired at the negotiations, a realistic possibility or a realistic option. In assessing the proposal submitted by the lawyers for the accused persons, I took into account the following factors. The receiver of UniBank acknowledged that the fictitious amounts totaling 2.1 billion did not result from cash outflows, but related to accounting entries that overstated the asset base of the bank, which predated UniBank's placement in official administration.
Yes, so that is the Attorney General. My comment on this, and some of my national service scandal is that Minyanki Jemo UniBank, Mama Shami, my bank is exactly natural. Papa ne bano sem for the Ghana Sikadi, no, then I Papa. Papa Nankasa, you can clearly see, say, a doom cannot hand the bank over to the bano. Come to Duffuor Junior, one more mine, one yard. Mimina sa brand ko game prosecute no but they be ameka some principle no say you benya sika ne kane dia ye ne kane because media 3.3 no in fact pay me checks all this one no ya recover just about 500 million pay in 6 years pay me checks na recover just about 500 million pay me checks into see bet me anya we no the asset be buy ton asset you benya 800 million cedis a me de ye nye no 1.2 no you make sure strictly obe this no the 1.2 na ba 60% media our form kakrama me ke dia 80% bi 75-80% bi a nkeye cause ke no 60 bi ke benya a 70-75 bi ye ko ye betimi so ageli ne kasam ne tight bank from 2018 to ke ageli no ana dia ba konso say ye call system no empedifo bi say yo masem kokko ta be hu ana ger na yara na yara Munim ni American me ni court to seek for contempt. Na some ni enwa e koba we me na mo. We me na mo. Enti se betmanya bibi wo mu dia ye ne ba mi nyanke kosoro. 2 NSS scandal sa some ni wie ni ebe eseme.
The Service Authority scandal case was due to be filed last week as promised when we stumbled upon evidence of malfeasance involving an account at the Bank of Ghana to which had been transferred an amount of 189 million Ghana cedis. Out of this amount, 80 million Ghana cedis cannot be traced. But we found 2 checks bearing the name and account details of the former Director General, Mr. Osei Asibe, which had been used to withdraw funds totaling a little under 2 million Ghana cedis from the said account. We have therefore halted the filing of charges so as to await the receipt of the evidence from the relevant state agencies, including the Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, and the Controller and Accountant General's Department. In fact, as I speak, the Bank of Ghana signaled to me that this morning they are going to deliver the entire, bank statement, for my attention. I am, however, thank you. Sorry. I am, however, happy to announce that at least 8 suspects in this investigation have approached my office for plea negotiations, including 3 former officers of the National Service Authority. Some officials have offered to testify against their colleagues, and some vendors and service providers are willing to come clean and testify as prosecution witnesses. When you build your docket well, this is the result that you get. 8, people are willing to testify. Persons, they are not coming to say hearsay. They are not coming to give hearsay evidence. People who were involved, okay? And we are, in negotiations with them and their lawyers. As a precondition, I tell them, you bring back the money that we have calculated that you took, you serve as a prosecution witness. That is the approach that we are using. Now, I'm sure the MPP will be very happy for me to insist that 100% be returned to the Attorney General before any deal can be, cut. Now,
yes. And to me, as we file case now, no more says kebi kura sign of Bank of Ghana, NSS kebi. Nesikani na 189 million cedis. Omo kwa account ma 80 million naira. Omo who checks directly former Director General Kumasi Mayor Yesibe transfer 2 million. The omba so omo shasha saadi ni nyina nsumu siwiye. Na se charge don't be back on one the account on that some the court. Me NSS some the ebonu pusa. Ye tuan kura yi ka. No mo bre you do say to ni jama sum. Na ne edi omusike yi bi ni. On Sky Train, aban no so say before Omobeko legal vacation the beginning, I think August, file Sky Train scandal.
In the Sky Train trial, we have concluded the case management conference. It is important to add that, but for the change of solicitors and the multiple medical excuses of the second accused person, that is Prof. Ameyaw Ikumfi, and recently of the lawyer for the first accused person, we would have called 2 of the 6 witnesses by now. That notwithstanding, the trial in the Sky Train case is expected to start before the beginning of the legal vacation.
Yes, so this is the brief from the learned Attorney General. My views, and I love to hear your views on this. But as again, I believe say bit minyanke kosro kakra. But about corruption cases you be one action that arrest and anko baby and benya yenye from you say to me channel from the credit card analyst channel so subscribe click the notification with the video be to my obi net my but that's the social media me shall count me here and I gonna see on to show you mama bye bye.